Rome could conquer the world outside, but Stoicism conquered the storm within. The Roman Forum shook beneath shouting voices, bronze armor, restless crowds, and anxious power. A rumor had spread through marble streets, and fear moved faster than soldiers. Merchants closed stalls, senators whispered names, and servants watched their masters lose command. But one Stoic walked through the noise as if silence lived inside his chest. Ancient Rome looked unbreakable beneath marble, bronze, banners, torches, and marching armies. But behind its walls, powerful men were still ruled by invisible fear. Senators smiled carefully, servants listened quietly, and generals carried death behind their eyes. So the Stoics searched for a strength no emperor could command or destroy. They did not teach peace as comfort, or calm as a softer life. They taught calm as inner government when the world outside becomes disorder. Marcus wrote beside plague and war. Seneca reasoned near power and death. Epictetus, once enslaved, taught that freedom begins where reaction loses its throne. Lesson 1 is to divide life between what is yours and not yours. Your choices, judgments, words, and motives belong inside the fortress of the soul. Insults, delays, weather, reputation, and other people's moods belong outside it. The calm person stops bleeding over things his hands were never meant to hold. Lesson 2 is that insult only rules when pride kneels to receive it. Rome worshipped reputation, rank, applause, and the fragile theater of public honor. One careless sentence could awaken revenge, shame, bitterness, and sleepless private arguments. But the Stoic refused to make another man's noise lord of his peace. Lesson 3 is that fear often becomes larger than the thing itself. Before the enemy arrives, imagination builds prisons, graves, betrayals, and endings. Seneca warned that people suffer early, then suffer again when the life finally happens. The steady soul prepares for pain, but refuses to rehearse its own defeat. Lesson 4 is to endure delay without turning waiting into inner war. Roman roads were long, courts moved slowly, ships vanished, and messages failed. Even powerful men discovered that life does not march beneath human command. Patience is not weakness, but strength that refuses to wait itself on rage. Lesson 5 is that desire becomes chains when it demands immediate obedience. Rome offered pleasure, titles, estates, applause, feasts, lovers, statues, and public admiration. But every craving that rules the mind turns a rich man into a servant. Calm begins when wanting loses authority and the soul remembers it needs less. Lesson 6 is to meet fortune without confusing her gifts with yourself. A man could rise beneath morning cheers, then fall before the evening lamps. Crowds praised today and whispered tomorrow, while marble houses changed masters in silence. The Stoic holds success lightly because anything outside character is already living. Lesson 7 is to guard speech before emotion turns language into fire. In Roman halls, one reckless sentence could destroy friendship, office, family, and life. Epictetus knew that silence can protect what anger proudly throws into ruin. The calm person does not answer every provocation simply because wounded pride wants sound. Lesson 8 is to carry pain without allowing pain to crown itself. The body may ache, the road may harden, and loss may enter suddenly. But suffering becomes heavier when judgment adds complaint, hatred, panic, and self-pity. Stoicism does not deny the wound, but denies the wound permission to rule. Lesson 9 is to do your duty when emotion begs for permission to quit. Marcus faced war, sickness, betrayal, exhaustion, and the loneliness of imperial responsibility. He did not wait for perfect feelings before returning to the work before him. The disciplined person acts rightly today, even when the heart arrives wounded. Lesson 10 is to remember death before vanity steals the meaning of life. Romans built arches, monuments, roads, tombs, and names meant to outlast dust. Yet death humbled emperors, slaves, generals, philosophers, merchants, children, and kings alike. The Stoic remembers mortality not to despair, but to rescue each hour from waste. This is why ancient Rome still speaks to the modern restless soul today. We no longer fear Nero's corridors, but we still serve invisible emperors. Opinions command mood, comparison commands shame, and fear commands imagination. The empire changed its clothing, but the undisciplined soul still bows the same. A calm life is not built in one dramatic hour of courage. It is built when someone chooses restraint during insult, patience during delay. It grows when desire is questioned, fear is examined, and speech is governed. Every small response becomes another stone in the inner fortress nobody sees. The Stoics were not called men without grief, tenderness, love, or human pain. They knew illness, exile, pressure, aging, betrayal, disappointment, and death's nearness. But they refused to let emotion become emperor over the whole person. They allowed the heart to feel deeply, while reason kept the throne guarded. The silent path begins when the crowd inside your chest finally grows quiet. Stoicism teaches that peace is not found by controlling the whole world. It is found by governing the judgment that meets the world each day. When the soul commands its response, Rome can fall and calm can remain. The world may still disturb your door, but it does not have to enter.